I'd like to welcome everyone to the Thiokol Memorial History Museum. It's a museum that tells the story of the people that led us to modern America. Come on in. This is the exhibit, Compassion. The one thing that separates America from the rest of the world is their generosity, their acts of good deed. Those kind acts is all the things that sometimes a person needs to make it through a difficult situation. Here we have a telegram from President Nixon addressed to the mayor of Woodbine, conveying America's feelings toward the explosion, expressing their sympathy and expressing how they feel and how their hearts were profoundly touched by what had happened in the town of Woodbine. For this emergency response, you had the 15 cities, the Army, the Navy, Red Cross, Coast Guard, and Social Security. The government responded, and then all of the communities surrounding, they also responded. We begin this exhibit with the hospital in St. Mary's, the small Gilman Hospital. We have the layout. They only had 20 rooms in the hospital. Dr. McCullen, he was the person that pronounced everyone dead at the site. He gave the official notice. We have Dr. Barker, Dr. Drury. He played an important role in this disaster because he actually went to the Thiokol site and assisted the Thiokol nurse in administering morphine to the injured. You have Ms. Josephine Wright and Ms. Johnny Myers. They were two nurses at Gilman Hospital. They were part of the staff. We have the University Hospital over in Jacksonville, Florida, depicted. And Telfair Hospital in Savannah is the hospital where Yvonne Connolly passed away. We have Dr. Mullins. He is the person that was director of the Jacksonville Blood Bank, where the 700 people waited to donate blood, both military and civilian. We have the Duval Medical Center, the Glenn Brunswick Memorial Hospital depicted in Brunswick, and Jacksonville also is the Methodist Hospital, and all of the great hospitals of Savannah, the City Hospital, Candler, and Savannah Hospital. But the compassion and the medical care was needed. It was overwhelming. We could not have made it without the professional care of all of the facilities that you see depicted here. Some of them we're still trying to collect the pictures of. This museum is a growing organ. We add to our exhibits daily, and we're building toward a national park that will depict the 15 cities, the 14 hospitals, the police and fire department, and all the state units and the military units, along with the artifacts of the workers. But the acts of compassion didn't end there. We have the funeral homes that gave the final act of dignity to our deceased workers. Ben Butler is featured here. That's his Brunswick Butler Funeral Home in Woodbine. We also had Wainwright Funeral Home that did a lot of the final dignity acts for our 29 people that passed away. And in all of this that we had go on in 1971, there had been a plea from Jacksonville. They tried to encourage, prior to this explosion, the need to have ambulances accompanied with EMTs, and ambulances that were not privately owned. Prior to this explosion, we would call, according to our ethnic background, if you're black, you would call Butler Funeral Home in Camden County. If you were Caucasian, you would call Wainwright Funeral Home. Each funeral home, Butler had one ambulance, Wainwright had 2 ambulances. Now, if the ambulance was tied up, they would send a hearse. They would take you to Gilman Hospital. And according to your status, if you were admitted, you stayed. If you were passed away, they put you back in the hearse and take you to the funeral home. After the explosion, Jacksonville got funding. All of the ambulance went to having EMTs, and the city owned. And in 1973, after the explosion, Kingsland got the first ambulance service and the first licensed ambulance here in the county. And then Camden County had a response. So this is the beginning of the ambulances with EMT capabilities and ownership of the ambulances by the different cities.